Isn't it beautiful? The architecture here is amazing. Hey, BookTube. Welcome back to the History Shelf. My name is Peg, and I have been missing in action. And talk about action. Yes, I have been. Was on the road last week. Went to San Antonio for a business trip. At the end of that, I got to go tour the Alamo. It's been a while since I've been there. Got some pics, a couple of videos. We'll see if I'm able to kind of maybe incorporate some in the beginning or the end of this video. So stay tuned if you want to see any video of the Alamo at the end. But hey, now I'm playing catch up because there's a lot of books to film. Just like Bill Rutenberg has, like, he's catching up on his videos, making videos of books that have been piling up over the months, and he's getting out those videos now. Thanks, Bill. That's fantastic. And now I've got to do the same. So this one is going to be just some new history arrivals, books that are already out. We've got a few that are not out yet, so I'm just going to sneak those in here. And in fact, one of these I already have a finished copy for, but I'll show you the advanced review. But let's move into some finished copies that I've received. You've seen these books here on the channel before. Wow, but the publishers were nice enough to send me finished copies. And one of them is Reagan, the new biography by Max Boot. I'm very eager to read this one. I haven't gotten to it yet just because I have other things that I work on, other book reviews. But this one is definitely one I want to read. This is his life and legend. You've seen this on the channel before, so that's a very beautiful spine too. This one came out in September. Can you believe that it's almost Halloween? Can you? I cannot. But yes, a finished copy from Live Right. And I still have a biography by H.W. Brands on Reagan that I want to read. And fun is to, I don't know about fun, but to read both Brands's and then Boot's biography of Reagan within relative closeness, to each other, and get a sense of, where they stand on him and whether they approve or disapprove. I'm guessing Max Boot and H.W. Brands would probably be more critical. Maybe Max Boot a little less or so, but still. So a finished copy of Reagan, His Life and Legend by Max Boot, that has come in. A book I have reviewed, and I was so excited to get the finished copy because I read this in a bound galley format, but I loved this book and I reviewed it for Shelf Awareness. So you can just go into my Instagram account and look for the photo of this book, or just go to Shelf Awareness and type in the title, The Strategists by Phillips Payson O'Brien. This is Churchill, Stalin, Roosevelt, Mussolini, and Hitler, how war made them and how they made war. I really enjoyed this book. I feel like I've seen so many millions of these types of books written. I exaggerate, obviously, millions, but I have read so many books about strategy and things like this, but this one took more of a personality as it's one of its launching points, just the innate personality of each man and how that informed their decision making. So I was really happy to get a finished copy. Thank you for the folks at Dutton, but I did write a review of this for Shelf Awareness. I'm not sure if I can link outside links in the YouTube box below. YouTube's getting really strict on things, and so I don't even know. I mean, one of these books has I think talking about books, is it okay to say Hitler, or am I going to be banned? It's history, so we have to talk. We got to talk about good guys and women and bad guys and women, and that's just it. So here you have it. So The Strategists, I highly recommend this read. I really enjoyed it. So I got that one. Then I got a finished copy of Here Comes the Name Again. This is from Penguin Press, and I am looking forward to reading this, even though it's a dark topic. This is because it's Richard J. Evans, people. It's Hitler's People, The Faces of the Third Reich. And a very juicy finished copy. Here I have a galley or a advanced reader's copy of this one. This one kind of, it takes a more, they kind of give you bite-size, each chapter or each part kind of groups some of these men. Like, obviously they start with the leader. We know who that is. Part 2, they call them the Paladins, and then we go into Goering, Goebbels, Rome, Himmler, von Ribbentrop, Rosenberg, and Speer. That's it. That's the German pronunciation. Speer. Then the Enforcers, the Instruments. So, I mean, Richard J. Evans, I mean, you can't get much better than that. So this is going to be a really good read in the fact that it's just kind of bite-sized for each person, you know. And anyway, finished copy. Very happy, and you have happy to get it. And I know that, you know, I've read the description before in one of my last New History on the Horizon episodes. So I wanted to show you the finished copies. This is also a finished copy. I requested this one because I love these type of stories. This one is out now. And I also have his other book. He wrote a Civil War book. So this is really a different type of book for this author, I would think, that at least topic-wise. So he went from writing 1861, The Civil War Awakening, to this book. It's a little niche interest that I have. And this is The Last Island, Discovery, Defiance, and the Most Elusive Tribe on Earth by Adam Goodhart. And this is put out by Godine Publishers. This is fascinating. I don't know if any of you have heard. Let's categorize this just under like straight nonfiction. I don't know if you have heard about these islands. In which part of the ocean is it in? Indian Ocean. Okay. North Sentinel Island. Have you guys heard of this? Yeah, this is crazy. I first heard about this in the news, about a missionary who, you know, he disobeyed the orders of the Indian government, like, don't go near this island. You know, there are indigenous people there that are very, very aggressive and violent, and they want to be left alone. And the Indian government, you know, respects that, but some people just court danger and court their own deaths sometimes. But, okay, let me read this to you. In November 2018, a young American missionary kayaked onto a remote beach in the Indian Ocean and was killed by indigenous islanders wielding bows and arrows. News of that fatal encounter on North Sentinel Island, a small patch of land in the Andaman Archipelago, fascinated people around the world. Most were unaware such a place existed in our time, an island whose hunter-gatherer inhabitants still live in near total isolation. 20 years before that ill-fated visit, another traveler, Adam Goodhart, a young American writer, right, had made his own journey to North Sentinel's coastline. Now, see, I did not know that. He returned to the Andaman Islands after the missionary's death. The Last Island is the tale of those voyages, a poignant work of history as well as travel, a journey in both time and place. It reveals the stories of others drawn to North Sentinel's mystery over the centuries, from British imperial adventurers to an enigmatic Victorian photographer to modern-day anthropologists. It chronicles neighboring Andaman tribes' encounters with the outside world, unfolding a dark saga of race, science, and empire worthy of a Joseph Conrad novel. And it shows how the web of modernity is drawing ever closer to North Sentinel's shores. Anyway, this book will speak to any reader interested in the limits and dangers of our globalizing society and its emphasis on ceaseless, unbroken connection. Indeed. So yes, I've been fascinated by remote and isolated tribes, the last unreachable, the unreached tribes around the world. So there's lots of illustrations in here. So kind of like a personal, maybe a little bit of a travelogue, memoir, but also, also just, just history, as much history as you can draw in about this mysterious tribe. And there's, wonderful evocative photographs, and I can't wait to read this. This is going to be a good read this winter. This winter, did I just say that? I'm still waiting for fall here. It's 79 and cloudy here, but tomorrow, we're supposed to have a freeze warning tomorrow night here in Colorado. So anyway, guys, I thought you might be interested to know about this book, The Last Island, about the, I think they're called the Sentinelese, the actual tribe itself. Yes, because I read another book about this. Well, it wasn't a full book. I think I read a couple of articles. Or actually, it might have been some documentaries on YouTube about it. But anyway, this will really take you into the history. So I'm really looking forward to that one. All right, let's see. Oh, another finished copy of a book that I didn't review, but one of my reviewers did for Historical Novels Review. Sometimes we're able to, maybe 1 or 2 books every issue of Historical Novels Review. We do nonfiction, so history nonfiction. And we had a reviewer review this for us. And I'm actually looking forward to reading it myself. And this is Emperor of the Seas, Kublai Khan and the Making of China by Jack Weatherford. This is put out by Bloomsbury. Good folks at Bloomsbury Continuum. This one is out, today is the publication day, October 29th. So, Emperor of the Seas. So what do we have here? I'll read from the pub sheet. Let me go ahead. I'm trying to cover up. You see all this stuff here in this corner right here? Well, okay, Roxy is taking a nap right there. I've got a stack of things I gotta get to you guys. I've got to open up and film. But I also have a bunch of books underneath the desk. So like I said, I am seriously backlogged because October was everything except this channel. I was doing everything almost except this channel. So the channel's been hurting, but I am going to be remedying that situation. So Genghis or however you would like to, say it. I say Genghis. Other people have said Genghis or Genghis, whatever. Genghis Khan built a formidable land empire, but he never crossed the sea. Yet by the time his grandson, Kublai Khan, had defeated the last vestiges of the Song Empire and established the Yuan dynasty in 1279, the Mongols controlled the most powerful navy in the world. Based on 10 years of research and a lifetime of immersion in Mongol culture and tradition, Emperor of the Seas brings this little-known story to life. Let's see here. There's a lot to read. Okay, so by the end, it just talks about how wonderful Kublai Khan was, and it says by the end of his reign, the Chinese were building and supplying remarkable ships to transport men, grain, and weapons over vast distances, of a size and dexterity that would be inconceivable in Europe for hundreds of years. Khan had come to a brilliant realization: control the seas, and you control everything. A master storyteller with an unparalleled grasp of Mongol sources, Jack Weatherford shows how Chinese naval hegemony changed the world forever, revolutionizing world commerce and transforming tastes as far away as England and France. So again, this one just released today, Emperor of the Seas, and I am looking forward to doing my own little read of it. But it received a good review for Historical Novels Review. Ooh, I gotta crack that spine. We got lots of color illustrations. Ooh, a stiff book. There we go. Emperor of the Seas by Jack Weatherford and Bloomsbury Books. Look at that stack. Ooh, let me save these. Well, okay, I'm going to show you some more finished copies. This one is from Encounter Books. It's a paperback. But I've been wanting to read it. This is out right now. Came out a little bit earlier, maybe a month or so ago. And this is The Israel Test: How Israel's Genius Enriches and Challenges the World by George Gilder. With a foreword by Dennis Prager. This is from Encounter Books. And what do we have to say about this one? Israel's stunning rise as a world capitalist and technological power, he argues, stems in part... let me back up. In this timely and courageous book, George Gilder demonstrates that the widespread antagonism toward the state of Israel is based, as is anti-Semitism itself, on self-defeating envy and resentment of its superior accomplishments and moral leadership. So he's drawing a line in the sand here. Israel's stunning rise as a world capitalist and technological power, he argues, stems in part from the Jewish culture of mind and in part from Judaism itself, which encourages intellectual curiosity and rational analysis while providing a rigorous moral framework for entrepreneurial creativity. Israel's critics throughout the Middle East and in Western Europe, all facing socialist decline, ouch, have failed the Israel test because they seek to destroy Israel's capitalist success rather than to emulate it. America's continued support for Western civilization in the Middle East will define our future survival as a nation. If Israel is destroyed, Gilder predicts, capitalist Europe will likely die as well, and America, the epitome of productive and creative capitalism spurred by its own Jewish citizens, will be in grave moral and economic jeopardy. At a time when ignorant students and overly anti-Semitic politicians champion Israel's murderous enemies and rush to abandon Israel, Gilder's clarity of vision makes the Israel test required reading not only for college students but also for policymakers in Washington and throughout the world. So that one definitely has an angle. And but I do want to read this in conjunction with a bunch of other new titles. I'm a little late to this. I wanted to do a, just because I said, October's my busy month. I wanted to do something in recognition of the year, the horrible anniversary of October 7th. And a bunch of new books have come out about what happened. The history on that day still remains to be written, but there are immediate witness testimonies, and there are about at least 3 books I've identified, and publishers were kind enough to send me review copies. And I'm going to be showing those in a video soon. Probably in my next video. Well, it's coming because I was going to group this one with it, but this is more of a broad kind of defense of Israel as an idea, as a nation, as a force for good in the world. And the other books just are showing, what happened to Israeli citizens on that horrific day, and what that could, mean with the war and everything else. So, but I have more books on, the October 7th and the war that began there. Like I said, I don't think the history of that day and then all of the just everything else that happened in the invasion and then the everything else in Gaza, that remains to be written. But I've started to collect the books on it so that I can get my head around it in a more comprehensive way. I do want to get some books as well because I want to be balanced on this, and I want to get some books on what's happening in Gaza. I think it's just hard for people to get in there and report, obviously. So, but yeah, I do want to get a couple of books on the other end of the spectrum, kind of highlighting the suffering of the civilians in Gaza, which, if I'm going to be honest, blame Hamas for that. Blame Hamas and kick them out, and take back your country, take back your land in Gaza, take it away from the terrorists. But anyway. So this is going to be an interesting read and definitely has, a position, as we can tell. All right, so now I want to move back into history. We are going to go back to the think World War II. And then we have Potomac Books, which is an imprint of the University of Nebraska Press. And I am on their media list, so I am privy to a lot of cool books each year, and I'm so thankful for that. Thank you, University of Nebraska Press. This one sounds very interesting, and a different angle on this one. This is Nazis at the Water Cooler, War Criminals and Post-War German Government Agencies by Terence C. Petty. Terence C. Petty. So let me go ahead and just give you a little rundown here. After World War II, when a new German democracy was born in the western region of the vanquished Third Reich, tens of thousands of civil servants were hired to work for newly formed government agencies to get the new republic quickly on its feet. But there was an enormous flaw in the plan. No serious vetting system was put in place to keep war criminals out of government positions. Oops. Ex-Nazis, people who had been involved in mass murder, drafting anti-Semitic laws, and the persecution of Hitler's opponents, as well as other depravities, resumed their careers without consequence in the newly created Federal Republic of Germany. Former Nazis who had established an early foothold in post-war government agencies helped each other get government work by writing letters of recommendation called Persilschein. These Persil certificates, named after a popular detergent, made an ex-Nazi's recorded past just as clean as fresh laundry, and a whole generation of German government officials with Nazi pasts was never brought to account. Oh man, ex-Nazis were given preference for government jobs, even over victims of Nazi policies and anti-Hitler resistors. This is insane. See, this is important history. This is important work that this writer's doing here, bringing this up and kind of bringing it into the spotlight. They swapped Nazi uniforms for suits, Hitler salutes for handshakes, and with help from the highest levels of West German government and even the CIA, they swept their crimes under the carpet and resurrected their careers. Nazis at the Water Cooler illuminates the network of ex-Third Reich loyalists and the U.S. government's complicity that enabled this mass impunity. So, this is out as of, I think Friday. So November 1st. Is the publication date for Nazis at the Water Cooler. And I'm getting this one in just at the wire. But this is important. These are things you don't even think about. You just think that, we win the war, the Nazis go away, that all the ex-Nazi officers went to jail. It's not what happened. I mean, just look at Operation Paperclip, right? I mean, that's where America was like bogarting the most premier German scientists for our own weaponry research and things like that. So, history, you reveal good things and it reveals a lot of messy things, a lot of bad things. But also, let's go, we still have another book here from University of Nebraska Press. This is from the Nebraska Press, and this kind of goes in line. I've been doing a lot of reading lately, either by chance or by just the fact that I've selected some books, or I've been assigned books for review with the topic of just Holocaust studies. I've really been reading a lot on the Holocaust, all the different Holocausts that happened. And here's another one. This is Spaces of Treblinka, Retracing a Death Camp by Jacob Flaws. This is a naked hardcover from the University of Nebraska Press. And let me get my pub sheet for you guys here. All right, so Spaces of Treblinka utilizes testimonies, oral histories, and recollections from Jewish, German, and Polish witnesses to create a holistic representation of the Treblinka death camp during its operation. This narrative rejects the historical misconception that Treblinka was an isolated Nazi extermination camp with few witnesses and fewer survivors. Rather than the secret sanitized site of industrial killing, Treblinka was intended to be, Jacob Flaws argues, Treblinka's mass murder. Wait, is this right? Rather than... Let me read this again. This was written a little weird. Rather than the secret sanitized site of industrial killing Treblinka was intended to be, Treblinka's mass murder was well known to the nearby townspeople who experienced the sights, sounds, smells, people, bodies, and train cars the camp ejected into the surrounding world. Through spatial reality, Flaws portrays the conceptions, fantasies, ideological assumptions, and memories of Treblinka from witnesses in the camp and surrounding towns. To do so, he identifies 6 key spaces that once composed the historical site of Treblinka: the ideological space, the behavioral space, the space of life and death, the interactional space, I don't know what that means, the sensory space, and the extended space. By examining these spaces, Flaws reveals that there were more witnesses to Treblinka than previously realized, as the transnational groups near and within the camp overlapped and interacted. Oh, wow. This book provides a staggering and profound reassessment of the relationship between knowing and not knowing, and asks us to confront the timely warning that we in our modern interconnected world can all become witnesses. Indeed. This book also publishes on November 1st. So, if you are interested, head over to the University of Nebraska website or ask your library about it. Lots of photos in here, not too many, but just enough to make your skin crawl. You know? Golly. Yes. I read, I still need to post on social media, but I recently reviewed a large volume about the Lithuanian Holocaust at Ponar. And, wow, it's called No Road Leading Back, and I'm going to be posting that soon. But you can check that out at the Washington Independent Review of Books. But that book was, that was tough stuff. So this is just kind of more tough reading, but also important. It's important to remember these things. So, Spaces of Treblinka. My pile is teetering. The rest here. Okay, let me show you this book. This is a graphic novel, and a graphic novel, but based on history. And I recently just wrote a review for one graphic novel. My first graphic novel I reviewed for Shelf Awareness, and it's about Juna Barnes, and I'm waiting for that one to publish. That should be publishing on Shelf Awareness very soon. But this one is, look who this is about. This is called Before 13th, a graphic novel by Michael Ralph. And there were some other folks, Laura Molnar, Nia Palmer, Ruth O'Leary. This is from Amistad Publishing. It's a naked hardcover. They emailed me about this, and I said, wow, let's do it. Let me take a look at this. What is going on? This is cool. I'd love to start reviewing graphic novels on the channel. Graphic historical novels on the channel. Oh, this is great. Great artwork. So it says here, discover the friendship and feud between Ida B. Wells and Frederick Douglass that forever changed our understanding of slavery and incarceration in the United States. Told from the perspectives of statesman and orator Frederick Douglass and journalist and activist Ida B. Wells, Before 13th is a story that illuminates the contradictions of freedom. Historical anthropologist Michael Ralph joins forces with Laura Molnar, Nia Palmer, and Ruth O'Leary to reimagine these two influential Black Americans and the controversy surrounding the 13th Amendment, which some contend did not abolish slavery but was used instead to keep African Americans in a condition approximating bondage in the years immediately following emancipation. Ralph boldly takes on the legacy of this amendment, offering a provocative rethinking that focuses on a practice known as convict leasing, the effects of which continue to be felt today. Before 13th explores the relationship between slavery and incarceration like never before. So this should be a really kind of a speedy read for me to what I'm normally reading, but I love it. It just kind of refreshes and kind of makes history more visual, So thank you, Amistad Publishing, for this gratis copy. And I have a candidate in mind because I received a duplicate of this, so think you know who you are out there, and I think this is coming your way soon. So, Before 13th from Amistad Publishing. I just received the finished copy of this book the other day, and I want to show the finished copy. I might show it again in my next New History on the Horizon. I got it early because the actual book doesn't publish publicly, obviously, until November 19th. But it's a beautiful finished copy. So this means I have an arc here if anyone would like it. This is from W.W. Norton, and I'm so pleased. I've been getting more advance notice of stuff from W.W. Norton, so that is just tickles me pink. Starbucks makes London Fog tea. Not as good as I make it. Actually, it was quite good. Okay, this is The White Ladder, Triumph and Tragedy at the Dawn of Mountaineering by Daniel Light. So this again is my advanced review copy, but the hardcover is beautiful. And I'll show it in my next New History. Like I said, it says here, whether in the name of conquest, science, or the divine, humans across the centuries have had myriad reasons to climb mountains. From the smoking volcanoes of South America to the great snowy ranges of the Himalaya, the White Ladder follows a cast of extraordinary characters. Conquistadors and captains, scientists and surveyors, alpinists and adventurers, up the slopes of the world's highest mountains, seeking the summits of the world's highest peaks. With thrilling pace and novelistic detail, Daniel Light traces the epic rise of mountaineering's world altitude record and highlights the roles of local guides and indigenous mountaineers whose feats are too often eclipsed by their white European counterparts. Damn these white people. They're ruining everything. They're ruining history. Describing the innovative technical accomplishments of the climbers, Light shows how each new breathtaking ascent heightened the spectacle of their dangerous sport. The White Ladder is the story of the true pioneers of high-altitude mountaineering, whose experiences cast new light on the eternal question, why climb mountains? Oh, shoot. I almost swore. Now I understand the provenance of the title. I thought it had to do with like ice and snow. Are you saying it was just a racial thing? Like it's just the White Ladder? Do we have to do that for an adventure story? I don't want that. Okay. Well, we're gonna check it out. This is Daniel Light's first book. Okay. All right. So again, this comes out November 19th, and we shall see what the real onus of this book is at here. Okay. Final book. Nope. Sorry. Got ahead of myself. 2 more books. Oh, I didn't realize. I got yet another book from University of Nebraska Press, but this is Potomac Books. The imprint, I don't have a pub sheet, but I'll just read from this one. This one is called My Dear Boy, a World War II story of escape, exile, and revelation by Joni Holzer Sherm. My Dear Boy from Potomac Books. It says here, after the death of Joni Holzer Sherm's parents in 2000, she found hundreds of letters held together by rusted paper clips and stamped with censor marks sent from Czechoslovakia, Great Britain, China, and South and North America, along with journals, vintage film, taped interviews, and photographs. As she worked through these materials documenting the life of her father, Oswald Valdick Holzer, she learned of her family history and his remarkable experiences of exile and loss, resilience and hope. In this posthumous memoir, Sherm elegantly recreates her father's youthful voice as he comes of age as a Jew in interwar Prague, escapes from a Nazi-held army unit, practices medicine in China's war-ravaged interior, and settles in the United States to start a family, introducing us to a cast of diverse characters ranging from the humorous to the menacing. Holzer's life story is an inspirational account of survival during wartime, a cinematic epic spanning multiple continents, and ultimately a tale with a twist. a book that will move readers for generations to come. This paperback edition of My Dear Boy, includes questions for discussion. What do you know? So it's a memoir. I love memoirs. So this sounds like it's going to be really interesting. I love learning about other people's lives and what they lived through, what they did, especially if they're able to, if they were able to survive and overcome the things that happened to them. I really enjoy reads like that. So again, another great read, another new release. This one should be out now, obviously, since it's paperback version of My Dear Boy. You know what? I've changed my mind. I'm not going to show you the last book just because I'm asking for this book got chewed up in the mail. I mean, I'm going to try to hide it. Look at that. What is happening? What happened here? What is this? I just teased it for you. Yeah, this book is not coming out until January. So I have time to have a discourse about it with you. I wrote to Knopf to see if I could get another review copy. I mean, I can read this one. It's okay. Hopefully I can get a finished copy because it's about Haitian history and I love it. So anyway, I'll show that in the next video. But for now, we've got about good 36 minutes. So yeah, let me know what you think of some of these titles, what you think about me being back on air. I'm kind of out of practice making videos, but it's good to be back. I plan on making more videos this week because I've got a lot of things to show you. I've got a lot of fiction that has come in. Most of it is historical fiction, so it fits in obviously with this channel, but others don't. But I'm still going to include them because I read just about everything. I read obviously from my Marple series, Miss Marple series. I love mysteries. I love thrillers. I did a Halloween TBR for you guys. Currently reading Horror Movie by Paul Tremblay, and I'm trying to introduce some other genres as well. Does that mean I'm not making a name change to the channel? That's just not going to happen. But I just need to kind of put it out there that I do a lot of other books as well. I show a lot of other books on this channel, and obviously I review a lot of things besides history. I do historical fiction reviewing, but I've done and written and published reviews for contemporary fiction, thrillers, mysteries, memoir, a whole range of things. It's growing by leaps and bounds. I just finished reading. I took on my flight, or on my trip anyway, 400-page book on the women thinkers behind the Transcendentalist movement, called Bright Circle. It's coming out soon from Oxford, and I wrote a review of that for Forward, which is a new outlet for me, and I'm really excited to be on their team. So Forward Reviews is what I'm doing now, in addition to my other outlets that I all love. So I have been reading lots of stuff. What else did I finish? I'm still trying to catch up on one more book, and then I've got a clean slate moving forward into November, but I've got things starting to fill in the slots as far as reviews go. So hopefully I can maybe do a FYI, here's where I'm at, here's what I'm reading now, kind of a catch-up video for you guys on that. But like I said, I'm out of practice, so excuse me for just kind of stumbling through. Anyway, it's great to be back, and look for more videos from the History Shelf, guys, and I look forward to your comments, as always. So until next time, read more history. Here's the backside of the church at the Alamo, outside. This is so amazing. I'm getting to see so much more than I did last time. The other beautiful thing are these trees. I'm not sure if these are cypresses or... These are beautiful trees outside the Alamo here. And there's another view of the wall on the church. It's amazing. We have one of our answers. That's a pecan tree. We've got some starlings. I think that's a starling. Ooh, jackdaw. This is a beautiful live oak tree. Wow. Look at this. The live oak was approximately 40 years old when Wall brought it to Alamo in 1913. Look at all these squirrels. And the team would love these squirrels. They are loving life up here. That looks like the well. Zoom out here. Wow, it's just beautiful out here.